Well, the House of Lords is made up of around 800 peers, and they are appointed by the Prime Minister, and they play largely an advisory role, refining, fine-tuning legislation that the government asked it really to check over. But it's the upper house and it's not elected, and that's always been its Achilles heel.
Yeah, so to check legislation but not necessarily reject it like a proper second chamber. So is that the main argument for replacing them?
Well, it's really interesting, actually. The problem that Labour's got themselves into is that if you were to ask what you wanted a second chamber to do, that is effectively what the House of Lords already does. If you remove the appointed peers and make the second chamber wholly elected, which is the proposal, then you are likely to get far more gridlock and competition, while also losing all the expertise and independence, critically, that is currently in the House of Lords.
Yeah. So is there that expertise and independence, do you think? Sometimes they are portrayed as a group of fuddy-duddy people who have just been sort of put there as part of an old boys network.
Yes, I completely understand the public image. I've worked in the House of Lords. Behind the scenes, behind the red ermine and the robes, there are a huge number of working peers who are unpaid, who go in every single day to do lots of incredibly, dare I say, quite boring, detailed, line-by-line reviewing of legislation that otherwise would never, ever happen in the House of Commons, because MPs don't have the time, they don't have the expertise, and they're basically not interested. And that's shown by the vast majority of amendments that the House of Lords proposes are accepted by the government. They play a positive role. There are issues around the size, there are issues around the appointment process, but overall, the House of Lords gets a pretty bad deal.
That's interesting, and a bad rap from what you're saying. So, you know, Sir Keir Starmer currently, or the Labor Party, is almost 20% ahead in the polls. Is it a political gamble for him? Is there public appetite for this idea?
Well, I think it's a bit of a political gamble that's backfired. First and foremost, there's already an argument that Keir Starmer is diluting the commitment to abolish and moving it more towards a consideration and consultation on reform. Also, the public are not interested in these sorts of issues. I mean, I am in Sheffield today where the trains are not running, nurses are going on strike. The fire service is going on strike. People are using food banks. Whether the House of Lords is reformed is not on the upper list of the big issues in British politics. And also, even though you say you want to abolish it, the plans about what you would replace it with are really not very thought through. So in some ways, I think this focus on the House of Lords, it's a little bit populist. It's an easy target that distracts you from what are you going to do on the big issues that are shaping people's lives. Yeah,
which he should be really framing at this point of time. But he is talking about more devolution of power for Scotland, a very important issue, Wales and Northern Ireland. That could be a winner for him.
It could definitely be a winner. And what's interesting is that this is a big report that was published. It's a clunking 200-page document. A House of Lords is only one tiny element, but it's what's received all the attention. The plans for devolution, yes, they are important. They are significant. They will play well. But there's almost an idea that you do devolution and it will, as if by magic, deliver economic growth, higher standards of living, and solve lots of problems. I think devolution is part of the problem, but it part of the solution, but it's not going to solve everything in quite the way that's currently being discussed. The issues are far more complex, and any blueprint for the future needs far more detail and a clearer set of people who are experienced and trustworthy to deliver a new agenda.
Yeah, you're so right. Brexit is a perfect example of unformed policy being carried out. Matthew, great to have you on. Thanks so much.
Thank you.